Risk management in the construction sector. Welcome to the Risk Management of Everything channel. On this channel, you will find videos on risk management and the application of risk management to diverse areas and sectors. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the notification button so you can be notified when we upload new videos. Thank you. Risk management in the construction sector is discussed in this video. Now, let us start. Construction is a risky business. Each construction project is unique and comes with its own set of challenges and opportunities. Identifying and managing construction project risks can be tricky, but not impossible with careful planning and execution. When risk turns into reality, it can disrupt and derail a project, which is why construction risk management is so important. In order to avoid disaster, you need to be able to properly assess, control, and monitor risks once they have been identified. Risks are not always negative. Being able to effectively identify and manage risks can lead to increased profits, establishing good relationships with clients that result in more projects, and being able to expand your business into new markets and sectors. Risk management in construction industry. Risk management in construction is designed to plan, monitor and control those measures needed to prevent exposure to risk. To do this, it is necessary to identify the hazard, assess the extent of the risk, provide measures to control the risk and manage any residual risks. Risk management in the construction industry is an important part of project planning and management. Various risks associated with construction projects, such as financial risks, environmental risks, socio-economic and construction-related risks, are studied and dealt with in risk management. The volatility and capriciousness of the environment in the construction industry were never hidden from anyone. It is easily influenced by external factors, technical, design, logistics, physical, operating, environmental, socio-political, force majeure, etc., which are capable of not only derailing projects but can also create an irreparable aberration. Risk management, therefore, becomes a pivotal instrument that helps us deal with the culling out of various risks, their analyses, and the remedial steps that could be taken to avert them in a particular project. Benefits of risk management in the construction industry. By now, it should be evident that a risk management plan can provide your company with great ease and security. While building out a plan requires a lot of effort, effective risk management provides some essential benefits for your company. Here are some benefits of risk management in construction. 1. Streamlined operations. Once a risk management plan is set, it helps make your future projects easier to assess. Team members have the knowledge and tools needed to make decisions and avoid risk, improving the efficiency of your company. 2. Enhanced safety. Risk management plans also help teams follow all safety and security standards on construction sites. The possibility of a safety hazard is minimized, moving projects along faster. 3. Higher confidence in projects. Being equipped with a sound plan allows teams to gain confidence over time in their projects over time as they balance risks. Since they are able to plan and fix any mistakes, teams can save time and resources in their projects. 4. Increased profits. Taking on unmanaged risks can hurt your company's profits. However, a carefully crafted and actionable risk plan helps to minimize these risks. Streamlined operations, enhanced safety, lower costs, and higher project confidence leads to increased profits over time. Key areas of risk management in the construction industry. Construction is without a doubt a high-risk industry. Workers often work from a height, use dangerous tools and machinery, and carry out tasks on hazardous building sites. So effective risk management policies and procedures are hugely important for keeping employees, contractors and site visitors safe from harm. But there is more to risk management than health and safety. While health and safety in construction are important, there are many different aspects of risk management that construction companies need to consider. Here are 12 key areas of risk management in the construction industry. 1. Health and safety. Managing health and safety risks is highly important in any industry, but in construction, workers face high-level risks on a daily basis. Construction sites are rife with hazards. So companies in this industry need to ensure effective health and safety risk management strategies are implemented consistently. The slightest lapse in health and safety can lead to serious injuries. Construction companies can drastically reduce risks with risk assessments, method statements, and written health and safety policies and procedures. Communication and training about health and safety in the workplace are also keys to health and safety risk management. 2. Identity. Behind every business relationship is trust, and behind that trust is identity. Clients want to know exactly who they are working with when they hire contractors so that they can minimize identity risk. By verifying factors relating to the identity of contractors, clients can ensure that they select contractors who are suitably qualified, experienced, reliable and trustworthy. Identity risk management is very important as clients need to know exactly who they are granting access to sites and trusting with important projects, equipment and information. 3. Financial. Every company or sole contractor will face financial risks, so it should come as no surprise that financial risk management is something that all companies and individual contractors need to consider. Anything that can affect business finances is a financial risk. In the construction industry, a few examples of financial risks that companies may face include seasonal cash flow shortages, late payments from clients, and increased costs of materials. But in reality, there are hundreds of different factors that could affect a company's financial health. Financial risk management involves considering how different scenarios may affect the company's finances, and planning for all possibilities. Companies should work to understand how different factors can have a financial impact and what can be done to minimize that impact. Understanding financial risk factors can also help companies make better informed decisions. 4. Corporate and professional standing. Corporate and professional standing can affect the reliability and risk level of a company. So organizations need to ensure that good corporate and professional standing is demonstrated on all levels. The organization as a whole must maintain professional integrity, comply with codes of conduct, hold the necessary qualifications and accreditations, and meet all legal obligations. But for organizations to maintain good professional standing, individuals within the company also need to demonstrate high standards of professionalism. This is especially important for team members such as executive officers and directors, who act as company representatives or have influence over important company decisions. Risk management in this area can involve ensuring compliance and vetting employees to make sure no individual threatens the reputation or professional integrity of the company. Not only should companies assess their own professional standing, but if any contracting companies are hired to complete projects, the professional standing of third-party companies should be assessed before contracts are agreed upon. 5. Anti-bribery and corruption. Corruption or bribery in the business world can lead to serious financial loss and reputational damage. Businesses have a moral and legal obligation to combat corruption. While most companies won't face bribery or corruption, it does happen. So construction businesses need to be aware of corruption risks and how to mitigate them. Companies should consider what realistic corruption risks they may face. They then need to assess the likelihood of these risks being realized and the effect they could have on the company and those involved. Steps can then be taken to reduce opportunities for corruption. 6. Modern slavery. Modern slavery is a very real issue in the UK. It is present in all areas of the UK, in many different industries as well in domestic situations, and can take many different forms. The construction industry in particular is a high-risk industry for labor exploitation. Modern slavery in construction includes but is by no means limited to human trafficking and child labor. It can also take the form of employers withholding pay, paying unfair wages, or forcing workers to work in unsafe conditions. Managing modern slavery risks starts with identifying where risks may arise. To effectively identify potential instances of exploitation, companies need to understand the root causes and drivers of modern slavery and know which indicators to look out for. Short, medium and long-term risk management strategies can then be implemented. Companies should refer to the Modern Slavery Act 2015 for guidance, and ensure compliance with modern slavery legislation. 7. Environmental. The nature of construction work means every project will have an impact on the environment, but it is possible for this impact to be minimized. So environmental responsibility and risk management should be a priority for construction companies. Construction projects are often responsible for large amounts of landfill waste, water, air and noise pollution, and vegetation removal. The manufacture of building materials and the operation of machinery during construction projects can also use huge amounts of energy, contributing to global warming. Environmental risk management involves taking steps to identify environmental risks and minimize the impact of construction work on the environment. Environmental risk management plans should consider the impact of construction on air and water quality, noise and vibration, people and local communities, the landscape, archaeological sites and more. 8. Quality management. Quality is one of the most important areas of risk management in construction. If construction work isn't completed to a high standard, completed structures can pose serious health and safety risks. Work that does not meet quality management standards can also incur rework costs and cause reputational damage, potentially costing companies future work opportunities. So a key aspect of risk management for construction companies is quality control. This involves creating quality policies and management plans that outline the quality of products and materials to be used, and the expected standard of completed work. Quality management plans will often form part of the contract between clients and contractors. 9. Equality. Companies in all industries are legally required to promote equality and diversity in the workplace in order to ensure equal opportunities for everyone. Equality and diversity can also play an important role in the success of businesses. Diversity at work can improve employee satisfaction and retention, and diverse workforces often benefit from a range of skills, approaches and expertise. Companies need to identify and eliminate discrimination risks. By eliminating discrimination and promoting equality, companies can unlock business benefits, comply with legislation such as the Equalities Act 2010, demonstrate progressive company culture and maintain a good reputation and professional standing. 10. Corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility, CSR, is a crucial element of risk management. CSR encourages companies to identify the environmental and social impact their business operations have, accept responsibility, and most importantly, take steps to minimize any risks and negative influence. Risks in the area of CSR can relate to human rights, work relationships, the protection of nature and the environment and more. 11. Information security and data protection. Technology has made collecting data easier than ever before. Every company collects personal and potentially sensitive data from different people, from contact details to information about how users interact with company websites to records of customer communications. So data protection risk management should be a priority for all businesses. Companies need to identify possible data protection risks such as the risk of data breaches, unlawful collection of data, and non-compliance with data protection regulations such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. GDPR is a legal framework that sets guidelines for the collection and processing of personal information from individuals who live in the European Union, EU. 12. Building information modeling. Building information modeling uses 3D models to digitally describe each stage of building projects. This process can help companies predict issues that may arise at different stages of projects, and identify risks across project timelines. The ability to identify and mitigate risks before they occur makes building information modeling a key area of risk management in construction. Types of risks in construction project management. Construction projects are very complex and compose various internal and external risks. A strict set of codes, laws, and regulations must be followed during the construction process to best avoid these risks. Unfortunately, there is no way to completely avoid risks, as there are bound to be unknown factors that arise over the course of a project. One of the best ways to manage risks is to know the various types and how you can manage them. If you can identify and categorize risks before you start a project, you can optimize your risk management and avoid any possible losses. The major risks that usually crop up in front of a project manager while helming a construction project are financial, socio-political, environmental, and construction-related. 1. Technical risks. Technical risks include anything that restricts you from creating the product that your customer wants. This can include uncertainty of resources and availability of materials, inadequate site investigation, or incomplete design. These risks can commonly occur when there are changes in project scope and requirements, and if there are design errors or omissions. 2. Logistical risks. There are various logistical risks that need to be addressed before beginning a project. These risks include the availability of transportation facilities and availability of equipment such as spare parts, fuel, and labor. Without addressing these logistical issues, you risk huge project delays and losses. 3. Financial risks. Inflation, local taxes, and availability and fluctuation in foreign exchange are a few of the possible financial risks you might incur during a construction project. If you are working on a project internationally, it is important that you understand how the foreign currency will be exchanged. Different countries have drastically different taxes as well, so you need to take this into account before starting a project. Factors that impact your financial flow, including lack of sales, problems with the economy, unexpected cost increases, and competition with other firms. 4. Socio-political risks. Customs and import restrictions and difficulties disposing of equipment are a few of the socio-political risks you may face during a construction project. Amendments in governmental laws and regulations, law and order, bribery, payment failure by the government, increase in taxes and change in government form this repertoire. Depending on where your project is, there are going to be different regulations and codes that you must abide by. If you assume that each project is going to have the same codes and regulations, you will be in for a rude awakening. 5. Environmental risk. Environmental risks include natural disasters, weather, and seasonal implications. Floods, earthquakes, and other natural phenomena that damage construction sites and make work inaccessible. These risks are commonly overlooked when people are unfamiliar with local conditions. If you are going to be working on a project in a new city, you need to become familiar with that region's weather patterns. If you prepare for possible weather risks, you are much more likely to avoid potential delays and losses. 6. Management-related risks. Project hazards such as poor management of resources, miscalculation of time, lack of proper policies, or misunderstanding of project deliverables. The most common management-related risk is the uncertain productivity of resources. Before you begin a project, you need to be sure that you have sufficiently skilled staff and that you have adequately defined their roles and responsibilities. Failing to do this can lead to disastrous losses. 7. Safety risk. Safety risk refers to any construction site risks or hazards that can lead to worker accidents. 8. Legal risk. Potential disputes in the fulfillment of contracts with clients. Legal risks arise from legal and regulatory obligations, including contract risks and litigation brought against the organization. It is always rare for a construction project to be completed without encountering legal claims. This underlines the importance of having a proper and well-maintained record of everything happening on the ground. 9. Job-related risks. There are several dangers that come with working at a construction site. Those tasks with different jobs at the site must have the necessary skill set and attention needed to do the job. Doing proper planning and preparation can help reduce the level of injuries on the job. In addition, it is also important to conduct thorough safety checks at different stages to minimize the possibility of injuries. It is also important to improve site visibility through proper communication. Risk management process in construction project. The risk management process in the construction section is also known as the construction risk management process. The risk management process is nothing but a series of steps that help identify and migrate the risks for the successful closure of a project. If done correctly and sincerely, construction risk management will reduce not only the likelihood of an event occurring but also the magnitude of its impact. In the simplest terms, the risk management process is taking preemptive actions to avoid and minimize any kind of jeopardy to a project in future. There are 6 basic steps involved in construction risk management: risk identification, risk assessment, risk response, execute risk management plan, create contingency plans, and risk monitoring and control. Step 1. Risk identification. There are various ways of identifying risk in the construction sector. In this video, we will be focusing on 5 basic ways through which risks can be identified in construction management: brainstorming, Delphi technique, interview/expert opinion, past experience, and checklists. 1. Brainstorming. All the relevant people associated with the project convene and discuss all the aspects of the project comprehensively and raise their ideas and thoughts foreseeing the risks in their perceptions. There is a facilitator who notes it all down and differentiates between the imperative and unnecessary ones. 2. Delphi technique. Questionnaires are answered in anonymity by a group of expert panelists in rounds followed with the aim of converging towards one mutual answer by improved judgment after consecutive rounds. The process is stopped after a predefined stop criterion, no. Of rounds, stability. 3. Interview/expert opinion. Experienced personnel and relevant people are consulted for their opinions and advice to avoid factors affecting risk. 4. Past experience. Similar projects are brought up and perused rigorously to identify the factors that could affect the project. 5. Checklists. A predetermined list of all the risks that could pose a threat to the project are delved, drawn and juxtaposed from the previously completed projects with analogous criterion. Step 2. Risk assessment/analysis. After all the probable risks have been identified, their valuation is done based on qualitative and quantitative methods. With the risk assessment method, available information is used to extricate the frequency of occurrence and the level of consequences in risk management. 1. Qualitative method. It is usually used for small and medium-scaled projects and involves listing and collating the risks and prioritizing and deprioritizing them as per the opinions of relevant people. The risks are also rated as high, medium or low depending on the collected opinions and risk tolerance boundaries in the organization. The qualitative method is also used when there is not enough data available or when there is some stiff time constraint attached to the project. 2. Quantitative method. Quantitative methods have to do with analyzing the effect of risks with crunching data and numbers and is used for large projects. Some major quantitative assessment methods are decision tree analysis, expected monetary value, expert judgment, fault tree analysis, fuzzy logic, probability distribution, sensitivity analysis, Monte Carlo estimations etc. Quantitative analysis requires a greater effort as it demands oodles of data for getting a precise and accurate analysis. Step 3. Risk response. After identification and assessment of the risks are done, available options to avert the risks are marked and discussed in case they ever crop up in future. Besides opting for the apt remedial measures for risks affecting the project, positive opportunities too are gleaned from the risks. Risk response is further subcategorized into risk avoidance, risk transfer, risk mitigation and risk acceptance depending upon the nature of the risks. Let us briefly describe these risk response techniques. 1. Risk avoidance. Shunning or away from the tasks that involve risks is risk avoidance. Though it is not always possible to avoid the risks this way, it is the simplest way to tackle the risks. In easier terms, steering the clearing of the parts of the project that may introduce new risks that may endanger the whole project is risk avoidance. Risk avoidance is most likely to take place where the level of risk is at a level where the project is potentially feasible. 2. Risk transfer. Your company might not be the right fit to manage a particular risk. Work with the other stakeholders to determine who on the project team is best suited to assume each risk. There are various ways through which one can transfer risks from their projects to third parties. Purchasing insurance, outsourcing intricate and sophisticated work to an experienced organization, using a fixed price contract instead of a unit price contract, and the complete removal of warranty and guarantee terms. 3. Risk mitigation. Reducing the impact of the risks that are inevitable and non-transferable in a project is termed risk mitigation or risk reduction. When you mitigate risk, you create plans to keep the risk as low as possible. For example, you can train workers and supply proper safety equipment to lessen the dangers of safety risk. Reviewing your project anew, alleviating complexities in the procedure, providing additional testing, etc. are some ways through which one can mitigate risks. 4. Risk acceptance. Agreeing to accept risk is a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly. It might be fine to accept a few low probabilities, low impact risks. Agreeing to accept a high probability, high impact risk without any type of management or mitigation could be detrimental to the project and your bottom line. Every project carries risk in some form. Some risks have to be hauled and made a part of the project with the consensus of all the relevant parties associated with the project. Keeping cost and time factor in view, management authorities must be informed regarding the consequence in case the risk occurs. Step 4. Execute a risk management plan. After conducting a risk assessment, you will then want to craft your risk management plan. A risk plan optimizes your risk response strategy, detailing crucial information for team members and providing a set of solutions to either mitigate, transfer, or accept the risks. In addition to stating priority, an effective plan should detail resources for each of your defined risks. Risk solutions can impact different levels of your company. The 3 common categories of solutions and examples of each include: 1. Strategy, managing risk at the enterprise level, using indemnity clause in insurance, using risk as a means to improve profit margin. 2. Structure, creating a formal risk department, ensuring insurance protects earnings stream, preventing overparticipation in projects with high risk. 3. Operations, setting a process to review risks, creating a safety culture and program, managing subcontractors and vendors, preparing comprehensive documents. Step 5. Create contingency plans. With any risks that you decide to accept, you will want to create a contingency plan, an alternative method for finishing a project despite accepting the risk. For example, if your company decides to accept a project that provides a considerable amount of safety hazards, you will want to communicate those hazards to workers. Your contingency plan would provide solutions such as providing a list of chemicals, labeling all containers, and using software that allows workers to check off safety precautions. Risk management is not a set-and-forget process. Consistent monitoring and revisions to your plan will help increase the resilience of your business against any possible risk. Like a dynamic document, your plan should evolve and change over time. Even after all risks have been calculated and accounted for, residual risks often remain due to unknown factors. Risk transfer and risk acceptance are common response strategies to respond to these risks. Step 6. Risk monitoring and control. To keep a rigorous check on the implementation of risk identification, risk assessment and risk response, risk monitoring and control is essential. Along with ensuring the execution of risk plans, it monitors the trigger conditions for contingencies and the probabilities of new impending risks during project execution. Team meetings and every singly checklist created during the initial stage get pored over by the monitoring authority and corrective actions are taken as per the requirement. Monitoring and control are done throughout the life of the project. Conclusion. Risk management in the construction sector has been discussed in this video. Good construction risk management requires a high level of collaboration and communication with all parties involved. Keeping everyone on the same page and working together will allow you to identify and manage risks before they become a problem. Remember, risks can lead to great rewards when effectively managed. The most common sources of risk in construction include financial risk, socio-political risks, environmental risks, safety risk, financial risk, legal risk, project risk, and environmental risk. The key areas of risk management in construction discussed in this video are hugely important when it comes to making sure business operations are as safe and risk-free as possible. Mitigating risks in these areas can protect people from harm, and help companies safeguard against financial and reputational loss. Hope the video is educative and beneficial to you. What aspect of risk management in the construction sector discussed in this video do you consider to be most crucial? Post your answer to this question in the comment section below. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the notification button so you can be notified when we upload new videos. If this video has been helpful and beneficial to you, then give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and leave a comment below. Thank you for seeing the Risk Management of Everything videos.